Hey everybody, this is your boy, the Tall Horse. I'm so excited to bring to you the content Street Economics, the Street Economics webinar. It's gonna be a nice journey together. Let's get up and get to understand what really street economics is all about. We aim at getting, talking about success, entrepreneurship, and the street economics hub market that we'll be introducing at a later stage. So let's just take it step by step and understand what's street economics. Well, simple thing, street economics, it's just success beyond the academic curriculum. That's what street economics is all about. It's all about success beyond the academic curriculum. Let's look at the stats now. Approximately 8.2 million, which is 40.1% of South Africans, 20.4 million young people aged 15 to 34 are not in employment, education, or training or any sort, according to the latest figure released by Stats SA in the quartile labor force survey. Is a lot of number. There's a high rate of unemployment, approximately reaching, which is half of the young people that we have. They are not in any employment. They are just, moving around. No employment, no practice, no anything that they are doing. So this is what we are trying to eradicate. We are trying to eradicate that kind of a thing where we just want to get up and empower young people, not particularly young people, but the society at a broader base. So there are three important things that we're going to talk about first. Number one is society. 2, mindset. 3, failure. Let me just say this first, that the color of our skin was never a problem. The color of our skin was never a problem at all. It doesn't mean that when you're an African, the color of your skin relates to the level of your success. That's not the case. That's not the case. We are just reaching melanin. It's very not in our culture to be called black people, because what black resembles the absence of color. But in great sense, we can say that we are Africans, which means that we are inhabitants of this land. We are authentic. That's what we are. The color of the skin was never associated with the level of our success that we have, not at all. So we need to get through that mentality that color has to determine the level of your success. It's not like that. You are just being an African, authentic and true. You are a true inhabitant of this land that we live in. That's it. So we doubt our capabilities based on color. That's the African problem. The problem that we have with Africans is that we tend to think of color more than our capabilities. Yes, we have capabilities in all aspects of life, but because of the color of our skin, we are more concerned about color rather than the capabilities that we have. It's a societal stigma that we are trying to break, and this webinar is all about opening an eye based on those concepts. So it all begins with the mindset. That's where it all begins. It all begins with the mindset of a person. Success begins with the mindset of a person. That's where it all begins. So there's this notion that I've come up with, that society can change a person, but the mindset of a person can change a society. That's it. Society has the power to change you, but also your mindset has the ability to change the society that you live in, which is basically the environment that you are in. Society is defined as a group of people living as a community or an organized group of people for a common purpose. We are gathering in a society for a common purpose, and society changes from time to time. That's what society does. From time to time, society changes. Failure is a leading factor in our societies because we are phobia-centric. That's the problem with us African people, is that we are phobia-centric. We have phobia. We have, this phobia to implement. When it comes to capabilities, there's this phobia that we have, to implement whatever that we want. You know that you have capabilities in doing a certain or a particular thing, but because of, this phobia, this color mentality, it all squashes us down to realizing that we have capabilities that can lead us to what we want in life. So we have the fear of implementing our crafts. Capabilities are there, but there are fear. We cannot see the capabilities beyond them because it's all about fear. We come to the mindset of a person. When we talk about mindset, we talk about behavior. We talk about action, solution, results, performance, and attitude. That's what a mindset is all about. That's all. When we talk about the mindset of a person, we talk about behavior, we talk about attitude, we talk about solutions, we talk about results. That's the mindset. That's the mindset. When we talk about mindset, we talk about those characteristics. As street economics, we have come with what we call the mindset application. We have what we call the mindset application. I'm just going to break it down to you this way. The mindset application, it all says that first, the mindset of a person is directly proportional to changing society and inversely proportional to failure. That's the mindset application according to street economics. The mindset of a person is directly proportional to changing society and inversely proportional to failure of implementation. Then secondly, failure of implementation is directly proportional to changing society and inversely proportional to the mindset of a person. Let me just briefly explain this to you. We talk about the mindset of a person. Set of characteristics. When we talk about those results, the attitude that you have towards your success, and all this, everything. What we are trying to say is that the mindset of a person is directly proportional to changing society, where we said that society changes from time to time. So the mindset of a person is directly proportional to changing society and inversely proportional to failure of implementation. Meaning that your mindset has the ability to change the society, and also it has the ability to suppress failure. That's it. So then secondly, failure of implementation is directly proportional to changing society and inversely proportional to mindset of a person. This is how it is. What we are trying to say is that when one lives in an environment and they are phobia-centric, they are more attracted to failure. Which, when you have failure of implementation, you cannot change the society. And the failure of implementation suppresses the mindset of a person. That's why we have a poor society. That's why we have a middle class society that's stuck in debts from generation to generation, because failure of implementation is directly proportional to change in society and inversely proportional to the mindset of a person, which is failure has the ability to suppress the mindset of a person. And we say that change in society equals to the mindset of a person or failure of implementation. Change in society is equals to the mindset of a person or failure to implement. This is how it is. When we have change in society, it has the ability to put you between two poles, which is the mindset and failure, which is two poles. You either choose to go to follow your mindset, to allow your mindset to change society, or rather, you allow failure of implementation to be the leading factor in all of this. So the mindset of a person is equals to changing society is equals to the mindset of a person or the failure of implementation. There are two poles that you're attracted to. It's either you can make it in life, or it's either you get stuck there because of failure to implement what you have. So that's basically the mindset application that we are talking about. Then we come to the societal cycle. The societal cycle. The societal cycle is concerned more about the middle class and the poor class. Well, first let me say the middle class is thriving for job. The middle class is striving to maintain job security, and the poor class is striving for job security. Middle class wants to maintain job security, and the poor class, they are thriving to get job security. So we have a societal cycle that we have been trapped into. It is a trap. It is a trap. People say that we have been liberated. There is liberation in South Africa. There is freedom. Well, I would say there is no freedom, because freedom we talk about when we say we are free, when we say that we are liberated from colonial oppression, would be talking about us having hands on the economy. But lest we don't have hands on our economy, there is no liberation that we have. Rather, the society, the African society, has been trapped in a cycle that says that it is education that we give. You come, you work for the minority class, which is the white capital monopoly. That's it. That's not how it is. Liberation is all about the African society having the ability to sustain and to move, then to shift their economy. Well, let's talk about the societal cycle. The societal cycle says to us, we have to go to school. After going to school, you graduate. After graduating, you get employment. After getting employment, you retire and get your pension funds. That's just the societal cycle. It's a trap that most of us are trapped in. The very, 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 very problem that we have is to be trapped in the societal cycle. First, when we talk about street economics, what we are saying is that not all of us can make it in the academic curriculum, but I can ensure you that all of us can be successful in life. Why? Because of capability. It all revolves around capabilities. We can make it. We can make it. So there is a trap in society which says, number one, you go to school, secondly, you graduate, thirdly, you look for employment, and lastly, you retire and get your pension fund. That is a societal trap. And most of the middle class, they are trapped into this society, into this cycle. And the poor working class, the poor class, it's not working rather, the poor class is striving to be trapped into this cycle, while the middle class is trapped into this cycle. Let me just try to break this cycle to you. Number one, I go to school, I graduate, I go and get my fancy job wherever it would be. Firstly, I want to have a house. Okay, for instance, we are living in Limpopo. The first thing that you get when you get employed, if I earn something around 40K at my first employment, one thing that I'll think about is, when 40K clocks in, I move from the location. I go to town. I have to stay in Bendo. And I have to get a classic car. You drive whatever car that you want to mention. Well, let's try to get the general analysis or the algorithm of all that. The thing is, why is the middle class trapped into this society? the mentality is that you first have to go to school. Secondly, you have to graduate. Thirdly, you have to look for employment, which is, it's not wrong. It's fine. But most of the middle class, they get trapped in debt because of this cycle. That says, first thing, when I have my money, I have to dress well. I have to, get my fancy house, which is a mortgage bond. I have to get that car. I buy it from the bank. I'm also owing it to the bank. So drastically, let's just make a survey. If all things go wrong for you, you lose your employment, you are paying your mortgage bond, and you are paying for your car, which is you are owing them to the bank. Whatever that doesn't bring money to you is a liability. And everything that brings money directly to you, those things are assets. So we are trapped into this education system where we think that most of the things that we think that they are our assets, basically they are our liabilities. As long as I have that car, I owe it to the bank, it's a liability. That's just the true notion we have to all get into our mind. Let's instill that to our mind. As long as I'm staying in Bendo, I'm owing that house to the bank, it's a liability, because immediately if I get chopped off my work, all those things, they have to go to the bank, and the bank auctions them at a lower price. And you go back to being a poor person, it's a societal cycle that we have been trapped in. Life is not all about graduating, getting a fancy job, and retiring and getting your pension fund. I've been looking at most people, they want to start implementing, or they want to start living their life with their pension funds, which is roughly at a late stage. You are trapped into a lot of debt. You cannot live a lifestyle, you cannot live a successful life with your pension funds. That would be way too long. When you get your pension funds, SARS is on your neck. Number one, SARS is on your neck, it has to chop you down. Secondly, you cannot live on that because it's way too late for that. It's way too late. So what we're trying to do is that we are trying to remove the concept of societal cycle from all people. That's what we are trying to do. So we are going to give you tools on how to make it, on how to be successful, and we're just going to cover the scope of entrepreneurship. That's what we're going to cover. We are just trying to remove the mindset that it's all about going to school, graduating, getting your job, retire, and get a pension fund. We are just trying to get over that. Number one, success is governed by principles. There are principles that govern success, and we need to understand that. Number one, success is not a one-man show. What am I saying? Okay, for instance, I have a company called Kobe Tech IT Solutions. Kobe Tech IT Solutions, it's not always about the tall horse. It's all about the network that you create around yourself to make it to the top. So number one, success is not a one-man show. Number two, success requires a network. That's what we need to understand. And always never despise the small beginnings in everything that you're doing. We're trying to say never despise all those small beginnings when you're getting into business. And what is entrepreneurship? Entrepreneurship is a set of mindset, skills, and rules. That's entrepreneurship. When we talk about entrepreneurship, we talk about set of mindset, which is the behavior, the attitude, and all those things. And skills, the abilities, the capabilities that we talked about, having them, but, having that fear to implement them. And also rules. It is governed by rules also. Having the skills, having the mindset, and also knowing, channeling yourself, having the right rules to regulate yourself and to run your business or whatever that you might be in. So, to merely start a business is not always about capital. Most people are procrastinating in the name of, I cannot start my business because I don't have capital. Well, I've been telling people on my last interview, I mentioned it that it only took me 350 to start Kobitech IT Solutions. That's what took me. It only took me 350 rands to implement that. And now it's a company that's doing fine. It's registered. It's doing fine. It's not always about capital. It's always about realizing your mindset, capabilities, which are skills, the skills that you have, and rules that govern your business. That's how it is. So you build a foundation and work on investments. Let us recap on success and entrepreneurship. These are the two important factors that I think the middle class and the poor class needs to understand. Entrepreneurship is all about your mindset, capabilities, which are skills, and thirdly, the rules. You know, business is governed by rules. Day-to-day functions of business are governed by rules. There are rules that govern business so that you can succeed in life. That's it. So you build a foundation and work on investments. We are rounding up on everything. We have talked about, the high proximity of unemployment, and we have mentioned the mindset application to you, and we have vividly and roughly explained what's success and what's entrepreneurship. And Kobitech IT Solutions is bringing to us what we call the Street Economics Hub. This is our last emphasis. This is what it's interesting. We say that Street Economics Hub is all about creating a corporate market for Africans by Africans. That's what Street Economics Hub is. Most people have been wondering, what's this Street Economics Hub? They've been seeing, posters about Street Economics Hub. Street Economics Hub is just a corporate market for Africans by Africans. Meaning that we are trying to create a supply chain that's being owned by Africans. We are trying to create an economy that's owned by Africans. We are trying to create that economy that says, African men, you need to start manufacturing those cars that you have. You need to start working on those ideas that you have. You need to start implementing those capabilities that you have, which, we as Street Economics Hub, we are giving you the opportunity to get into the supply chain that's African-centric and that will make impact to the African society. What we are trying to say is that this is a corporate market for Africans by Africans, whereby we'll be creating a marketplace for Africans and a marketplace that will contribute to Africans. How are we going to do that? We'll be implementing a website where we'll create stalls for anybody who's in business, anybody who's an African who's in business, who wants to promote their work. We'll be doing that. Street Economics Hub says we'll be doing PR and marketing for your company. Whatever business that you are in, Street Economics is willing to do that work for you. There's just that monthly subscription that you have to pay. You just get into the market. We want to create a corporate market that says that, okay, let's just get it. Let's just allow it to sink it into our minds. Let's look. The most paining part in South Africa is that, gold is mined in South Africa, but it's not refined in South Africa. That is becoming a problem to us. Where are the Africans that we rise up. We need to rise up. Where are those Africans where we have to rise up? We need to implement those refining machinery. We need that gold to make an impact to the South African economy. Imagine you work for your own gold, you give it to your superiors, they take it to other countries to refine it, you have to buy it back to your country. That's just purely madness. It's purely madness. What we are trying to say is that we want to create an African hub. It's not only based on South Africa, but it's based on the African continent. We are trying to create that economic hub where we are going to lift our economy. Our economy will be lifted by us. It only depends on us. It only will and will be successful because of us. So that's what we are generally saying. That's all about Street Economics Hub. Please follow us at Kobitech IT Solutions Pty Ltd to get more information about this Street Economics Hub. And there's a page also. Go and like Street Economics Hub page. Thank you a lot, fam, for tuning in, and we are all set. Thank you so much for tuning in.